Business chat, and we're talking about TV, and TV has had a big space to play, especially on the campaigns with less than 25 days to go. And today we're talking about digital migration. My guest in studio is Kamal Sorab. I hope I say that right. Who's a business manager at Pan Africa Group. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Bwana Kamal, we've seen delays and postponements of date and switch of dates keep changing. I know that is really not your core business, but as an industry player, are you happy with the kind of postponement we've been seeing?
I can't say that I'm happy, but I have to commend the initiative the government and the CCK are putting.
Yes.
Especially now they're negotiating with the consumer body COFEC, and we are just hoping both parties come to an agreement.
Yes.
To the best interest of the Kenyan public. But Kenya, I see, first of all, as a company, we are ready for the migration. We have covered 70% of the country's population. That's, if you calculate, 80 to 90% of the TV population in Kenya. So as the country is ready, but we just hope for the best in the negotiations.
Of course, Kamal, Pan Africa is really in charge with setting up the infrastructure that is going to be using this, and not really set of boxes or the boxes that people use at home. So your target is really the content providers. How is that so far?
No, the content providers are our main clients, like the pay TV providers, the free to air. And since CCK is pushing towards this, they have been authorizing new players, small, big, coming on board on our platform, and the Signet platform, I believe.
Of course, Signet just being the only competitor. Who are the other than the big companies like the big TV, the mainstream TV, KTN, NTV, and whatnot? But do you have provision for smaller entrepreneurs who may be wanting to get into the business of content provision?
Yes, we do. We have actually signed about 5 new ones, and I have about 10 potential agreements to be finalized. So we are looking at a great increase in number of channels for Kenya.
Still on the deadline issue, how do we compare with the other East African countries? We understand Tanzania is ahead of us. They've already migrated.
Yeah, Tanzania switched off on the 31st of 2012 because all the East African countries had agreed, but in Kenya, due to the fact that we have these ongoing negotiations, it has been postponed. But Kenya was ahead, and I believe Kenya can still move ahead compared to the other countries in East Africa.
As Pan Africa, of course, you're putting in a lot of money in this venture. When do you expect to see 100% coverage that will, of course, result into return on investment?
Coverage we're hoping to see in before 2015. That's before the global switch-off deadline.
Yes.
And in terms of investment, by the end of 2012, we invested about 4 billion shillings. And this year, we hope to invest more than that. To improve on the expansion, we need to hire local Kenyan staff.
Yes.
Because we need a lot of training to give.
You need to hire local Kenyan staff. Who works for you currently?
We have both expatriates and Kenyans. This is a new technology in the country, so we bring in the expatriates with the expertise to train the local staff before we can hand over to them.
Now, Kamal, Pan Africa and Signet are the only ones providing infrastructure in this area, and of course there was some bit of attention in the tendering of that process. Take us through that, and how did you get this?
No, we applied like a normal company, and successfully we were given the contract by CCK, but we followed all the rules and regulations.
Of course there was concern that local owners needed to take a stake in this. How does that sit with you?
Okay, I can't say anything in terms of the local,
yes.
But as Pan Africa, I think we have done what we have been asked to do and what we put on the tender, and we have placed the infrastructure as requested by the CCK, who are our regulator here.
A chance to give you to make a free ad here, and who are you looking for in terms of clients? Because for the end user, someone watching at home, when you're talking about infrastructure and you're not providing the boxes, so what exactly are you doing? Who are you looking for? Who's your trading partner here?
Basically what we look for are the local content producers, people who try to make movies, so we encourage them to come into, set up a group, and they can start a channel which can be easily hosted on our platform, because for now with digital migration they don't have to spend a lot in startups because they don't have to worry about transmission costs. They only have to concentrate on content production.
You're talking about not spending a lot. How much is that?
For example, I believe you have very high costs here in maintenance, power, technicians, so we cover that. So you would welcome KTN And you don't have to concentrate on that. What you have to do is just think of a better content to give to the Kenyan public.
Finally, is this whole idea of content generation as a business model, does it actually have fruits it will bear? I mean, we've just been talking about it, we've been talking about there'll be more movies, a lot of this, a lot of local content, but does it have a business sense?
Yes, it does. Many people will be employed into making this content, and new companies can be set up. We can have more channels, employment for Kenyans. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Indeed, current market share?
I believe we have 50–60% of the market.
Indeed, good luck even as we head towards the digital migration. Of course, as you might have known by now, there was a case in court where the Consumer Federation took the government in regards to the timelines of the digital migration, which was pushed to the end of 2013. We'll be waiting to see that, but as you've heard, we are ready in terms of infrastructure. What remains is the next step as regards to the deadline. I'll be speaking to Kamal Sorab, who's the Business Development Manager at Pan Africa Group.